special guest.
The teachers about the pronouns, the culture,
Naked culture.
Yeah,
it should be.
What's that say?
The proper way to go about pronouns.
Etiquette, that's the one.
Okay.
That's exactly it.
That's valid.
I struggle with this shit.
Yeah, that's valid. And so long as you can hear me fine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just lay it out real easy. Folks, a lot of folks maybe don't think about their gender often, like meaning gender is how a lot of us were assigned gender at birth, meaning male, like man or woman. That's called a binary because it's like
1 or 0.
most of culture is like you're either a man or a woman.
There's only 2
Yes.
categories.
But quite frankly, the reality of that is that a lot of folks, not only is there variety in like the human body, right? Meaning that there's a whole range of different types of bodies. There's not just like category man body and category woman body. There's like a whole spectrum of bodies, that's one thing. But also there's a whole spectrum of gender identity, meaning some people do self-identify as man. Some people do self-identify as woman. And usually folks who identify with the gender they were assigned at birth, they're called cisgender, meaning like, yeah, I was assigned woman at birth.
Who choose to accept what they were named at birth.
Yeah, or it's like the same. It's like, oh yeah, I don't disagree with that assignment, you know, or like I'm not currently, or I'm not challenging that in any way. I do identify as a woman. I mean, but some people are cisgender and do talk about gender. But generally, this is me laying out.
It is a complex thing.
It is.
To talk about.
And to kind of like add on to what you were saying, I will say like even in like the workforce, people do utilize this. I've been on interviews where people have introduced themselves to me, respectively stating what their pronouns are to begin with, followed by their name. So it is very important to know. I mean, very important.
Yeah, because that's how you know you're referring to somebody, right? Like, they're coming in the room, you know. So it's you know, when you're talking to somebody, asking them if you don't know what their pronouns are, if they haven't told you.
For me, I just call them by their name.
Yes.
Yes. That's what I do.
I guess.
Yeah.
Because then I don't want to spend too much time talking about what they refer to be called as, but like just to keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
Without having to break, you know, to make it awkward, like the little pause and shit, and then do like a little light icebreaker trying to get back to a conversation. This dude is stuck in a fucking.
Yeah, leave him alone.
Yeah, that's how that conversation feels like. You're like, oh, I'm in a
You're stuck in a corner.
Yeah.
Like that.
But no, it's just like it's a form of respect, you know. That's how you demonstrate like I actually give a fuck. I care
like
about
trying to pronounce someone's name instead of you. Instead of trying to guess how people
or avoiding it.
Yeah, like people don't really get my name right, so I just put it on. But that's like along the same line as someone calling you he or she. And you just letting it by you without acknowledging that it bothers how you identify.
Yeah, that happens with me a lot, or it used to anyway. Yeah, I'd just be like, it's not that I would be bothered necessarily with she/her pronouns, but it felt like a conversation that I couldn't have at the time with the person who's in front of me. And sometimes feels like it's not a conversation they're willing to have or wanting to have or wanting to understand. And so for a while, I just was like, well, if you're not hip right now and you don't care to get hip, that's kind of a problem, and a problem I kind of didn't know how to deal with, other than to like now, just be like, actually, let's talk about, pronouns. And you don't even have to get that deep into it. It's just literally, hey, what's good? What's your name? What pronouns do you use? They're gonna say.
But before that phrase, we didn't know how to initiate that conversation.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Hi. Oh, hey. Special guest.
It's a little reunion for her to see my family.
Special guest number?
Oh, really? Hi, cutie. Who's you?
The only good one is Gary.
Hi. Oh, what's up? Oh my gosh.
Hi, Galindo. Too many dogs.
Y'all are sick.
Now, he's at the door.
That's the one that has breathing problems.
Bro.
Yo, but this damn. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know me.
Just bless these dogs with some tranquility.
Wow, nice to meet you. Ay. Oh my God. Okay, ya estoy nerviosa. Hi, sweetie.
I'm about to let my
Hi.
feel outnumbered.
Oh my goodness. Nice to meet you guys. Yo, pero wow. Wow. What? Yo, I need to get that right.
Yeah, put up on the kid. 3 dogs.
Yes.
3 dogs.
I'm sorry, but oh well. You were nicer.
It's bad, dog.
Oh my gosh.
Dogs are the best. Legit, dogs are the best.
Oh my gosh. Wow, that.
They just like walk in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They just open the door.
And then that's how, that's how they barge in.
That sound like
they
a
breathe. I don't close the door all the way just in case my sister needs some pocket chip shit.
Oh, they still there?
The angry one is just patrolling outside. You're like the hellhound from like Supernatural.
I had to feed him a piece of chicken so he calmed down.
Chill.
That one, you have to pay the toll for that one. The other
You gotta pay the toll.
For that one, he's like, nah, you have to pay taxes around here, bro.
I'm crying.
You gotta pay taxes around her.
God. Round who? Oh.
Open a window for
You want a
some
drink?
fucking-
Okay. Well,
But yo, Oriel.
Yeah.
Yo, when you're bartending, what's your favorite drink to make?
What, for people or myself?
Not for people. Like, what's the best thing to
beer? I can make them a beer.
make?
Real easy.
From scratch?
I ferment that shit in the back.
It might blow up though.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, my favorite thing's like a Mai Tai. That's the only thing I know how to make either. I could not make anything else.
Since I work at a Mexican restaurant, I don't get that. Like, I get Mai Tais occasionally. I'm like, bitch, why do you want to torture me with this? Just margaritas. Margarita, that's it.
what's a Mai Tai?
Wait, a Mai Tai is like a mixed fruit drink
I'm a bartender.
with different types of rums. Am I right, Oriel?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's was it rum with lime? Is it lime juice?
Sometimes with lime, pineapple.
Yes.
That's what I heard.
Yes.
And then
Usually
like,
a cherry's in it.
The
Triple sex and like dark and light. It might be two different rums.
Oh, there's
I
two
might
rums. Yeah, there's two rums.
What's triple sec?
at least
It's like orange flavor, like the core.
kind of citrusy, I would say.
I mean, it has a
It's pretty good though.
Oh my god. Wait, are you a bartender too?
No, Oreo's just like my guy, so
Yeah.
he's like trained me in his ways in a way.
Oh.
And I forgot exactly what the fuck I did. Yeah, I don't remember shit. He asked me what a Mai Tai was. Like, I draw a blank. I have a book.
That's why you got me here, bro. I just remember stuff. That's all. That's why I'm around.
The thing is, I have to do it a lot. I can't remember the ingredients, but if I know how to make it, like I know like the muscle memory of it, then I'll know what it is.
But that's
You ever have people? You ever got like people that pull up to you and ask for like the weirdest thing? Yeah, let me get like a.
I had one person ask me for a Grateful Dead. I'm like, nigga.
You played the radio.
Yeah, I just turned on the jukebox. I wheeled in the jukebox and was, here you go.
Hey. Yeah, what is that counter like? I always wondered.
It was really hectic when it started. It was like a lot of people used to go there on Fridays, Saturdays and shit. It was like, it wasn't as much like families and shit, but it was like, the families got bigger now, like more bigger like people, more bigger like gatherings and shit.
For real?
But when I started, it was just like, at least people come in threes, so the big table weren't as needed. Shit would throw me off though, because I started and someone was like, "Oh, I want a honey margarita." I thought margarita meant like tequila. Margarita meant the lime juice and everything else, but the tequila. So I got thrown off like that shit.
That's weird. Have you ever met anybody cool while you were bartending? I've seen you get tipped a lot, especially when you play your saxophone. That's your cheat code right there.
Yeah, that's so tiring though.
At the bar?
No, because I'm working two jobs when I'm playing this. Because I'm bartending.
At the bar?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, like at 8 o'clock or something, I'll do it occasionally. Like back when I brought it with me and shit. But if it was like, free enough, I'll do it. They'll ask me and shit. I'm like, all right, I'll play one song.
That's not cute. But that's two jobs.
It's
Don't
two jobs. I'll do it because I have it with me. And then, that's like, it was part of my day that I just have it with me. So I'm like, I might as well do it. That way I don't have to do shit else after. I can just like kill time and clean and without having to clean and all that.
Okay.
That's legit.
But then it became like them asking me that shit every time they see me. I'm like,
so they better leave $10 in that tip cup.
I'm not trying to get lightheaded for you motherfuckers. I can play one song.
Careless whisper.
So did people tip well? What's the...
I don't know what tip well means because like it's still like my first job that includes like tips and shit like that.
Yeah.
I never worked at a restaurant before.
Okay, so let's say.
I'd say it was okay, I guess.
No,
I wouldn't complain about it. That's how it was.
Okay, you made me a drink this big. No, not this big. No.
I mean, Long Island fits in that shit.
Let's say this costs, how much this costs? $12? 8. No, 12.
$8?
How much they leave for tip?
What, for like a $10?
For a $10 drink.
Well,
it was a $10 drink.
$3?
Yeah, but they think I put it strong is because I put more of the flavor and shit. Actually, it was funny. Like I actually skip. Like technically, I skip on the actual alcohol. No, but like I don't mean to. That's how I measured it. But like, oh, you're supposed to put one, like the little cup thing, right?
You're the ill hustler.
And then I use that big cup again for like the flavor liquor. It's not as strong as like having half a shot, but it's still like there. It still hits. So people think it's a full thing, but it's not.
Yeah, but you're giving them more flavor than liquor, right? And they're like, "Oh, this is way stronger."
Yeah. Like I put like some extra shit in there, like whatever juice or whatever the flavor that it is. I put a little like whatever the juice counterpart of that shit, and then that's how it feels tasty and shit. It still gets you fucked up though, bro. Like it's still a full shot of tequila in there. Margaritas are like a shot and a half. I just take that half out and put a little of the other thing in. It's still good, and it won't be fucking throwing tortillas in a freaking restaurant.
Tortillas.
You know, I had an idea once. Because you can make, alcohol can really fuck you up, but alcohol is like a very strong, a really strong base, like a base, like it can, if you put herbs inside of alcohol or alcohol-based things, it'll like help the plant release medicinal things of the plant into the alcohol, and then if you drink the alcohol, it's like that's medicine, and those things are called tinctures, and you can make like all kinds of tinctures with all kinds of herbs that are actually medicinal, and anything can really be medicinal, and anything really that is medicinal can also be toxic if you take it in like
the pomegranate margaritas they be asking. Pomegranate juice is technically good for you, but put that shit in a margarita glass, it evens out.
Right.
That's exactly what they told me. Like, yo, I like pomegranate because it's good for my heart, but it's bad for my liver, so it evens out. I like
okay.
Juice. I like juice.
Pomegranate's good for your heart, but bad for your liver?
Because it's
alcohol. Yeah. I see. But yeah, imagine you could make like medicinal alcoholic drinks, bitch. I'd be.
What's it called? Think of the
legit
juice bars, whatever.
Juice bar outside of like a therapy.
We'd all be rich.
Didn't we talk about that shit?
What?
They get a juice bar, whatever.
Yes.
That shit was
Yes. I really think they should take. How it's on the corner?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do like a vendor type shit.
And just like, you should, like, couldn't they sell drinks out the window? Like all along the corner? I'm Massachusetts. Oh, alcohol?
Yeah, they can. It has to be bottled and shit like
What about? Oh, it has to be bottled.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's like you can apply for people to drink it inside, or to sell it like as something to bring home to the house and shit.
Oh.
I mean, in Vegas, that idea. Man,
Interesting. Okay, I see.
Because they could walk.
Yeah. Yeah, in Vegas, you could like walk around with an open bottle of tequila and they can't stop you. Like you could just go.
I'm ready. You can't stop me.
I've seen things in Vegas I never thought I'd see. I'm just like, wow, people just walking around like this? Okay.
Wow.
Okay. I'm not mad.
I wonder what Vegas is like right now. But like honestly, I'm talking about this shit. It's like a lot of things that have to change with Corona. Like I'm really freaked out. Like I have no idea. Like we here without masks right now, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, should have my mask on for this one.
Thinking for the Zoom calls, you still put your mask on.
No,
yeah.
this is serious. Oh my God. It's serious. It's serious.
It is.
And it's
You hear wheezing and shit from Jesus.
Like I was telling Oriel, I just got back to work. I'm an accountant at like some software company in North Andover, and we just got back to work. Like everybody's there, everybody's masked up. We don't do no meetings now. Everybody just does Zoom calls, and it's mad annoying because you just hear everybody else's feedback. It's weird.
Do you have an office?
Yeah, we have our own like little areas. Like I have a queue. Everybody's got like a decent sized queue by like 6 feet, so we're good to go regardless. It's not like we're like close to each other at all. Yeah.
Social distancing, but it's still a 6x6.
Exactly. They thought ahead.
Oh man. But like they're opening up the schools soon enough. That's and shit, in Massachusetts, in Lawrence, Massachusetts, they've opened up daycare. Tell me.
They said it was doing good, but like that's like on numbers of what we're already doing now. Like it's not numbers as if we're open and shit.
No.
The numbers will change.
I think the daycares decided to. Good. I was gonna say I thought the daycares opened up because a lot of people are back into work and they're looking at like, all right, people are gonna pay for this, and they're not really looking at like, okay, this is a health concern. It doesn't make sense to do at this point.
They don't care about people dying, especially poor people, because literally the people who have to bring their kids to daycare, like one, are doing so consciously knowing that there's 10 other kids in there and 10 other families, plus the like
person taking care of them.
Plus the people, the adults taking care of them, and that's.
Exacto.
¿Y qué la vaina? Somos locos, ¿qué?
Nah, they're.
So.
What you said?
Apparently so, but it's crazy.
Yo, no, they're really they just really don't care about killing off a whole sector of the population, and we've been knew that. They don't like the government people in like.
The wealthy people don't give a shit.
No, and neither do these politicians.
No.
And they rely on poor working class people to go to work to make their money, which is exactly why places are opening up. If places don't open up, one, the owners won't be making they're losing, even though the government has tons and tons of like programs for owners of businesses right now, or like money funds, whatever. Yeah, there's at least something.
But the corporations have their hand in that shit anyways. So
They definitely do.
The corporations are gonna have at least fucking 40% or 50% of that shit.
Exactly.
What they're not doing is giving people proper like excuse from work. And so now they're opening back up, expecting people to go back to work, get off unemployment, and put their kids in daycares.
Don't worry, I'm just waiting until stage 2.
That's when the locusts come out.
That's when the shit's really gonna hit the fan when stage 2 happens.
So what are we gonna do? We're gonna wait for people to die? We're just gonna, what do we do?
With our president, we can't do shit.
What, is Kanye fucking running for president?
My bad. It's true.
Quote unquote.
Yeah, I guess in terms of policy, it feels like futile. Like what are we begging the government to do that the government should have done and knew it should have done for a while ago.
Shit really started hitting the fan when he closed everything down. I'm like, yeah, shit's gonna definitely hit the fan now.
Facts.
Look where we are now.
Yeah, our numbers aren't they worse than when they first shut down?
Exactly. They shut it down.
What?
They shut it down at maybe let's just say the number's 100. Right now it's probably at 10K compared to that. You know what I mean? So it's way worse. Way worse.
So I'm saying I think everything needs to shut down again. I mean, not on some police patrolling shit, but like people need to be paid to not go to work and to take care of their kids, and yeah, people just need to get paid to stay chilling until we like.
That's not in the agenda. That's not in the United
This guy.
States agenda.
That was
But if we strike, it's like bitch, it's on the agenda now. On the agenda now. If we strike, if we just stop going to work, if we shut that shit down.
But then
they're gonna re-bring the Mexicans back into play.
What you mean?
They're like the Mexican border.
You said they'd open up the border, bitch. Wow, I see it. As soon as you said that, wow,
Trump said he built that wall. Okay, we go on strike. Hey, Mexicans, you want a deal?
You think
Open
so?
citizenship.
Open city, yeah. I'll go with Gabriel. Open citizenship.
If we strike,
all around.
I mean,
if we just refuse,
let's just put it this way: Mexico will become
the police are gonna be
part.
funded and shit, so by the time that they're going to be able to repel people with their own weapons.
Interesting. I mean, okay. I fuck with it. So that's yes.
Yo, right now everything just costs so much too. Like inflation's hitting hard right now.
Yeah, the recession ain't got nothing. The Great Depression ain't got nothing on the coronavirus.
Yeah, this inflation is crazy right now. It costs like $20 to buy like a thing of milk. It's getting weird out here.
And I'm getting that fucking van ready to use and shit for that big ass van I got.
Oh, I was gonna say we should do something with it. What you gonna do?
Move some furniture and stuff.
Oh, that's what you. Mm-hmm.
It was gonna be for transportation, but no one's gonna be in that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then there's gonna be extra stops and more regulation if they put that shit in.
Yeah.
Then there'll be no point. There's gonna be more permits and shit like that.
So what?
Then it's gonna be the point. So I'm gonna just
take out the seats.
Just go online and see if people need fucking cargo things and shit to use or whatnot. Maybe I could just do it, like moving supplies or whatnot.
Yeah.
So they do have it out like as if like a need like job posting and shit. That you drivers with like cargo vans. So I could do that. In the meantime, since I can't go to work, they're still not open, and bars and like is gonna be like the last thing that is gonna be open.
Sheesh. Oh yeah, you about to start your own business?
Man, we'll bullshit something, but it ain't gonna be official.
It's gonna move everybody's heavy shit. Don't matter if it's concrete, sofas, groceries, Oreos on it.
Yo, we need to do food distribution. Hardcore. Yo, mad people are struggling.
Yeah.
They're not working.
The van can't be refrigerated though. That's the only thing.
Okay.
If that's the thing, but
Interesting.
I see a lot.
You see where this
more of
Hertz
those
truck comes into play? See where that Hertz truck that I wanted to buy comes into play?
Yo, they're not selling them shits anymore.
Exactly, that's why. But you see, we should have struck while the iron was hot, man.
With those fucking $5.
Hell yeah, son.
You say, oh, your company's bankrupt? I'll buy that truck for $5. Like, this is a $5 bill. Writes deal on it. Already negotiated with himself about that shit. It's like, we know we need this shit. He's $5.
Dude got like a napkin and a crayon. Ready to kind of deal.
Well, look at it this way. That was $5 that they could have had. Now they ain't selling shit. See? You see?
I bet you could find it still though. Wait, why are they not selling?
Because they...
That story.
It was something about the government, like they couldn't sell their stocks in time. Like they're struggling to sell. Yeah, Hertz was selling.
Yes.
They were selling their stocks, but they're having trouble selling it, so they were stuck at like at an impasse where they couldn't get their shareholders' money back.
Yep.
Hence,
good on you.
That was $5. They could have.
Exactly right.
I read.
That's exactly right. Yo, and I work very closely with them. Like, They pay us a bill every month.
You can't go into detail about the numbers and shit. But
they pay us a bill every month. And let me tell you, them going out of business hurts us bad. Like, I put my resume up on Indeed because as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, hell no. They're not getting me.
Oh, my God.
Y'all bankrupt, but this resume ain't.
Yeah, I can't even say any numbers at all, but, like, it's crazy how much it would, like, impact us. Because they owe us. So it's like,
yeah.
And they pay us every month. And not to get that income every month is going to hurt.
Wait, I don't know.
Where I work at?
Yeah, you don't have to give too many details.
I ain't going to say too much, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like accounting, ethics. But yeah, they owe us a pretty penny, and I'm not trying to go out like that. That's all. You know what I mean? I saw it, I'm like, ooh, gotta watch out. But they're going to pay their bills. We got an agreement. So we're good for now.
Wait, so do they provide services for y'all? Or what is,
No,
or is it y'all do their accounting?
We provide a software for them. A software company still needs an accounting person, so they have an accounting team for their accounting. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So while I'm an accountant for a software company, the software company provides their software to Hertz.
Oh.
And I know how much Hertz owes us. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, but that's pretty much the situation that I'm in, and that's why I know what's going on to a high degree. So I'm looking at them like they're crazy. Especially when I saw their stock go up, I'm like, why? They're going out of business. Are you guys idiots? Then that shit went to like 20 cents.
Oh my gosh.
A buddy of mine was trying to
went up before it went down? Why? How does that happen?
Because they...
Good question.
They all sold before the shit started.
People looked at the people looked at it like it was super cheap, so everybody's like, oh, I know Hertz, let's go in on this.
Oh.
So because so many people bought it, the price went up.
They must have been advertising that shit because they know that.
I'm fucking bad.
It's just a bunch of new people that went on Robinhood and were like, oh, Hertz, ha ha ha. Went for it. And it's like, they call these guys like millennial investors, I guess. Like people who do like stuff like this, but I don't know. But it's crazy what happened. Yeah, you could probably get like one of their cars for like a hamburger and like some fries. Like they're done.
Yo,
so a full hamburger?
Nah, I ain't got.
Go get the 2 buns in the front.
I got like 3 nuts.
I'll give them the 2 buns. Now if they want meat, they gotta put 2 trucks in that bitch. Now.
You gotta put 2 of them fucking Hertz trucks.
They better clean that one. They better clean that truck. Shit.
Polished.
Yeah.
Right
so
now.
Plus with the spray for the tires and shit.
I want them to wax.
Yo, that's included.
New car.
Them rims better be shiny.
Shinier than the mud.
What were you trying to say though? You were trying to say something before we all just went in for no reason.
I want to know what happens. How are they gonna sell those cars? Auction? What?
So they sell their cars.
It's like the way they're gonna get their money back, but they can't really sell enough of that shit to warrant the money back for the shareholders.
Yeah.
Even when they do sell it, they're still gonna be short. I
Yeah.
don't know if they have to sell their buildings and shit too, but I don't know if they're doing that.
To pay back stockholders for the stocks?
For the share,
Not necessarily for their stocks, but like for their cost overall.
Yeah, the money they invested in shit at least.
That's what I'm saying. They could have made a little bit of money
if they had taken those $5.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And that would have been one less problem they would have had.
You're gonna deny Jesus' what's it called? The blessings. He blessed that Honda of yours, Gabriel. What happened?
It got fixed. I go for it. It got fixed. Facts.
He offered Hertz blessings. The blessing of a $5 and a dream. And they said, nah.
I think my pronoun would probably be, you give me $5 and luck will change for you.
It goes by, you give me $5.
You give me $5.
I go by, give me $5.
I hate this guy.
Jesus ain't doing it for free no more.
Damn, the gender.
No. Hey. Well, Jesus did all that stuff in the beginning for free. Look what happened.
Mm-hmm. He sold my fucking Corolla. That's what happened.
That's not what I was getting at, but okay.
I'm still getting at that shit. He had to sell that shit for survival too. Nigga was killing him. The responsibility that these motherfuckers weren't taking for him.
This guy.
Big ass.
I know. I got the little one and the big one.
Pineapple juice? She brought this big ass can of this shit. I thought it was a small one.
I don't know what kind of.
Right one.
And then look, she said what goes with honey. She brought like the like mandatory shit. This came with the bottle. Cranberry came
Yes,
with the
you grateful?
Pineapple's a good base. So
Yeah.
anything with that
It's
is
bomb. It's bomb. I honestly, I don't know how much. I'm gonna say like a quarter of the bottle is in here, and it's truly perfect. It's with the pineapple and the ice. Tropical heaven.
My favorite drink used to be honey and Sprite.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a different mix.
I just like Sprite. I liked it, and then the honey's like, I don't know, because of the bubbles, and then it becomes like a little sweeter and shit like that compared to the cranberry. It doesn't leave you with that fucking cranberry breath either.
DK cranberry breath. What?
Yo,
That's real?
yes. When you motherfuckers that drink honey and cranberry, they're talking and shit. Let that shit go through. And get stuck with them fucking breathing them cranberry juice.
Oh, no.
Yo,
Not at the bar, but like whenever I got like gone out and shit, like to and motherfuckers will have honey and cranberry, but like after the third one, they're stuck with that cranberry juice breath. With Sprite, you don't get that.
Okay, no sabía.
Sprite don't leave you with that fucking breath. You don't feel like you have a coat of straight sugar on your fucking on your esophagus.
Alright, I'm gonna have to go with you, Oreo. Alright, you convinced me. I see your pitch
Cranberry,
here.
oh fuck.
I'm gonna have to roll with Oreo on this one. I don't know. That Sprite and Hennessy sounds kind of different, though. I don't know.
It is different. It's because it's not normal. It's not an easy phrase, but
I know.
you can say Henny and cranberry, you can't Henny and Sprite. Sprite.
Toriel, yo tengo un calor. Yo me estoy muriendo. What are we gonna do?
It's how it has to be.
¿Qué?
It's an air conditioner.
Yeah, that shit is loud as fuck. It's old school air conditioning.
This one.
It's old school air conditioning.
Wait, just something for a little bit.
Yeah.
There's alcohol
Well, let me open
too.
this window. Let
I
me see if that works.
that mix.
There's never a fucking breeze, bro.
Wait, Oreo, you don't got no fan?
I have an air conditioner, but you hear it, right? No?
It's on right now?
Yeah. Okay. It's the air conditioner that's not loud. I don't want to turn it. Like,
Worst case, just put the audio louder than this and you'll be good. Nobody will notice, bro. You're good. Nah, it's not doing.
I noticed.
It feels
I'm
good.
the one that edits the audio, bro. I noticed this shit.
Facts. Okay. Yeah, there's no convincing you in that case. My bad.
I've been through this. I tested it out, bro. I told you, I did like practice recording. I record that shit for a minute to see if that shit if it's loud. It's really loud. When you're talking, you still hear that shit.
Oreo, the ill perfectionist. I see you, Oreo. I see you. Alright. Yo, you know what the worst part about going back to work is? I can't just I used to work from home. So when I worked from home, when I was hungry, I could just go to the fridge. But I'm at work, so it's not like I
go to the fridge at work to steal someone's food.
Sucks. It sucks. That's something you can't put a price on, to be honest.
Yeah.
Can't put a price on that.
Darn.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because I know the people I work for Twitter and shit, they said they could stay at home and shit if they wanted to work.
Yeah.
but I don't know. It's a weird thing. Is it dependent on the computers that you guys use or not?
It's more so dependent on executive management's decisions more so than anything else.
Annoying.
You know what I'm saying? So it's really their say, and a lot of people will follow the leaders in that case. So like people like Microsoft's already sent all their team home. You know what I'm saying? This is like $1 billion company at this point. You know what I'm saying? If they're doing that, don't you think other places should be doing this? You know what I'm saying? Just a thought.
What's the emotional benefit of having you? What?
Because it's not like they need to send people like equipment and shit for them to stay home.
Microsoft.
Yeah,
All they gotta do is update something to the giant server that they got.
but like since people who work at Microsoft, they could afford like a computer to stay at home.
Yeah, and Microsoft should be giving people free software to like be able to do this type of like to transition into a COVID like content.
It should have been happening before, but
I will say places like Microsoft will oftentimes provide you with a laptop that you take home for work purposes. Do you get what I'm saying? Then you just plug in and dock once you're at work. That's kind of like how my job works, where we have like a laptop that you like dock once you're in, and you can take it with you if you need to. I've taken it because I've had to like meet with customers in the past and like let them know how to work with some stuff and let them know about us in general. But yeah, Microsoft would be doing something like that. And honestly, I don't see a benefit in being in person besides accessibility to people, if that makes sense. Outside of you having the luxury of like saying, hey, bud, do you have this? That's really it.
Yeah, so then I feel like people who are working, especially under like people who are just working, you're literally doing the job to make the company function. Like, y'all really need to call the shots. I know that that's not how things structurally like look like they work, but that is how structurally they work. It's like literally the people doing the work. If they're not doing that, you don't have a company. You don't have a functional company. So folks really like the power is in the people, and y'all should just say what you want. And company needs to make that shit happen. I know that doesn't sound pretty. Like we already know what the
conversation used to be.
I've got a curveball to throw into this that makes things interesting.
What happened again?
I've got a curveball that kind of makes things interesting in my case. So with us, the company we work for is actually family owned.
Interesting.
And that might sound like it doesn't change anything, but that kind of changes the culture and like the air to things. You're working with people that are on site related to the owner of this place, and the owner is on site very, very there as well.
Yeah, like a more direct line to
yeah, that changes the conversation because that's kind of like, it makes things clicky.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like clicky. But with that, there's power in that as well. What we've kind of been doing is kind of like pushing the message of like, we should really go home, this is unsafe. And one of the higher VPs that's closer to like the said owner, we're kind of working her so she can kind of get in his ear. Because you really got to get into the ear of the people that matter. You know what I'm saying? Like there's ways to go about things for sure. Whatever.
But you don't need like petition and shit like that.
I mean, strike. We need a strike.
But like they do strikes because they're unheard. But with family owned places, you could just keep have that conversation going within the company without having to go to other measures and shit.
Pero explícame, ¿qué conversación hay? Like, how much conversation you gotta have? Like, that literally, we should go home, it's unsafe. Like,
but they have to see it that way too. It's not necessarily the safe. Like, owners, they're gonna think about the business first because that's how they've been, operating the business beforehand. They've, sacrificed their well-being to get the business started. But that mindset isn't the same as people who are working for them. People punch in and people punch out. But with the owners, they're there 24/7, so that becomes
right, all
part
their
of their
investments, like their livelihood.
Yeah, that becomes part of their, their day to day as well. So
but it's like,
yeah, you have to keep offering that other, the other perspective. But with corporations, it won't go directly to people. It won't. They'll take it under advisement, but with family homes, it's like, okay, let me think this through. But at least you have them thinking instead of, them just pushing it off to the side.
I don't know how much you gotta think. I mean, for some jobs, it's like, you can't get grocery store attendants to go home. Like, people still need, unless we did delivery, and we could, because we already do that. Rich people already have those services. It's like, we could have grocery delivery services without people having to go physically into a store. But as it stands right now, the infrastructure for that doesn't exist yet.
Well, much like
in mass, right? Yeah. Even though it does, it literally does exist.
Target does.
But in your situation, say what?
No, go ahead.
I'm just like, in the case of people having to go into an office, what conversation, and I'm just like, I really hate the whole, we have to convince people to think the way that we do. And it's like, no, literally you have to get it through people's heads that their money doesn't matter more than your life. That's it. That's it. And it's like, I don't care to convince you of that. It's like, that's just the fucking facts. That's just the facts. Your money and your money production doesn't matter more than my life. And so we need to come to a place where those things can be in agreement. And if they're not, you're fucking up. Your business is exploiting people. Your business is putting people at risk. It's putting people in dangerous situations to produce money for you. Because we could all be on unemployment. Let's just, the government has enough of our tax dollars that we could, and we should be taxing companies there's a whole thing. You're an accountant. Huh?
They need to start recalling these fucking companies.
Yes.
Because they're still offshores and shit. They put shit off to aliens, and the yachts are registered under different countries. Yet their corporations, their headquarters are still buildings in U.S. and shit.
Repossession, yes. Redistribution,
Because they're not going to get the tax dollars. Because if the government says we're going to take your money, they're going to send that money out offshore. Mm-hmm. So technically they'll be broke in the U.S., but globally they'll have more money.
Mm-hmm. So it's not a tax problem. Mm-hmm. Accountant, what do you think? Because it's true. Rich people find mad ways to avoid taxing.
They create the loopholes.
Well, it's because they're more... Yeah, that's the thing. That, and a lot of people in low-income areas don't have the means to learn about taxing and things like that. Does that make sense? So they start off already at an advantage. I think we really need to educate people more financially overall. And I think that will lead to more people in lower-income areas to become successful. Because that's to keep that from people, that's
how you make money off of them. That's how you make money off of them, self-employed people. For example, here's a massive issue that I see in Lawrence with the daycares. And I speak about the daycares because, I got family and I know about the daycares. But daycares pay taxes, pay full-on taxes because they're businesses. But they're literal education centers by EEC, by the Department of Early Childhood Education and Care, whatever, EEC. They're education centers. And as far as I'm concerned, education centers, schools should be designated as nonprofit like institutions. Like they should not be paying taxes. They should be using that money to invest further in the curriculum, invest further in the kids, invest further in the food program. You know, like that money should not be coming out of the program. But they make their money on that. And there's tons and tons of ways that poor people basically pay the majority of taxes. And then you look at Lawrence, and we're not even involved in the budget process. So they collect all these taxes and fees from predominantly poor communities who don't have a say in how that money gets spent. And it's a problem. It's a problem because like all the money, for what are we paying taxes if next year, like this coming year, like right now, we've already entered the fiscal year 2021, at least in Lawrence, and they're not gonna, they completely cut spending on our streets. They're not gonna be fixing the streets. And we all know how much of a problem that is. People's, like,
I popped my tire yesterday.
Yeah.
2 days ago.
Again?
No, for this new car, it's becoming a tradition. Like that's how I break
it in.
Wow. Yeah, that's your literal. That's an ask. Not only is that like a very like most poor people's like major asset is their car. Like you're gonna fuck up people's cars because we're not gonna fix the streets. They put no money in economic development, no money in business development, and they give $15 million of our tax money to the Lawrence Police Department to go around and police people and jail people for being poor and for doing what they have to do to make ends meet. The fuck? It's a very serious. These are very, and the taxation issues are predatory. They're on purpose. That's not just like, oh, poor people don't know about like, you know, aren't financially literate and that's why they're poor. It's like, no, the like taxation system literally preys on people, one, not knowing shit, and two, people being poor and not having like, yeah, but, right.
Well, it's a combination of things overall. That's not just one part of it, but yeah.
Right. It's a whole system. It's a whole system. Interconnected systems as well. The fuck? We pay more taxes than rich people do on any given day. I, as a poor person, as a low-income person, pay more taxes than any other, like than a lot of rich folk. The fuck?
They gave Amazon money instead of that. They didn't pay shit.
And then I have no say. I basically have no say because Lawrence City Council, Lawrence Mayor, Lawrence entire like government structure doesn't give a fuck about public participation in their budget or in any of their decisions, especially their financial decisions. So structurally, there's major issues. There's major issues. I have major beef. I don't know. What are we gonna do, y'all? What are we gonna do? Because I think the whole get rich and make sure my family good, like, okay, but I don't think I'm satisfied on that one.